It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. It's time for international news. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of stories going on all around the world, and I wanted to put this news special together. You know, sometimes through satire, it kind of makes people think. Some of these stories are just so unbelievable they're not true, and some of them make you think, ooh, what if that was true? So without any further ado, let's just jump on the Sharp Interactive board and see what's going on around the world. First story up, Australia's got a big problem. The major maker of the paper for the businesses says we're out. We're not going to make the paper for businesses anymore. No more copying, no more printing. People all over Australia are asking this question. Should I print or should I shit? Now, I realize some of you are saying, Ray, couldn't you say poop? Did you have to say the S word? Well, that's what they're saying in Australia. If they would have said, should I print or should I poop? I would have said that, but that's not what they said. They said, should I print or should I shit? They're trying to decide, do they take the little bit of business paper they got left and throw it out in the dunny? Because what's next? They're going to run out of toilet paper? People in Australia are freaking out about this. There'll be more stories to come on this, I'm sure, so stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, the next big story has to do with Amplify. I started thinking about this Amplify agreement. You know, for a while I was giving HP, I think, too much credit. I'm not sure that HP Amplify was born of their imagination. I think they stole this idea from the Chinese. I see this article written in Newsweek long time ago. Look at that article out there. And the article headline is this: China's bid to control the world's data. China was trying to get data a lot longer than HP Amplify. And I think HP Amplify, they saw what China was doing and they said, hey, we could do that. We could get dealers to give us all this data. They'll even like doing it. Amazing development. And I'm going to study this a little bit harder as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the next big story is DCA Technology, Document Capture Agent. Now, recently we saw the balloon flying around here in the United States. People were freaking out. But I think it's AirPrint. I think the whole balloon thing is AirPrint. And here's an example of how it'll be used. You have someone in our U.S. State Department, right? We got the State Department. They got the printers and the copy machines. And this young lady needs to get some information to the embassy in China. What better way to do that than through AirPrint? So she scans the information in. It gets sucked up into the balloon. And then the balloon shoots it over to the U.S. Embassy in China. Now, I can't imagine this technology would be used for any kind of criminal activity. I mean, this would just be from our State Department to our embassy in China. But again, AirPrint, DCA technology, changing the world. I'll keep you up to date on this story as well. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, this is a big one. Dictator Technology Association. Folks, I heard this was being developed, and I'm thinking to myself, this is unbelievable. I mean, we got a group getting together from different parts of the world. These are the three executives that are going to head this thing up. The Dictator Technology Association. I'm thinking to myself, well, what do these experts do? What do these individuals do to bring this together? How's this all going to work? Let me share the next slide with you. Folks, they all have expertise in certain fields. So in other words, this gentleman here has the Gulag search engine, and he's convinced that the Gulag search engine is so much better than Google. We'll see what happens. But I've got to be honest with you, man. This Dictator Technology Association could put a lot of pressure on the Business Technology Association we have here in America. I mean, because it looks like they got some pretty good experts in certain fields. This gentleman here is a virus expert. Technology viruses are running rampant. You got to have an expert around viruses. This gentleman over here is a ransomware help desk expert. Do you realize how hard it is for some people to get the Bitcoin to pay off the ransoms? I mean, you get some old guy like me and they'd say Bitcoin. I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? And I need a place I can call and get walked through that. And this gentleman heads up one of the best ransomware help desks there is in the world, is what I hear. So ladies and gentlemen, this Dictator Technology Association is something to watch out for, and I'll keep posting on it as time goes on. But here's something really interesting, folks. Stick with me on this slide. There's a lot on here. But you know how the Americans are saying American made, American first? And of course, China's been making a lot of our stuff, and they're freaking out over there in China. They're like, well, if they start making everything in America, what are we going to do? And the Chinese people, they're not stupid. They said, why don't we start offering technology services? Let them make all the stuff they want to make. I mean, we are technology experts over here. Let's start doing some services for the Americans. China Technology Services. And here's some examples of some of the stuff they want to do. They want to clean memory chips and hard drives. They're telling the Americans, hey, just send us this stuff over to China. We'll go ahead and clean it all up for you and send it back. Think about all the copiers and printers and stuff that get traded in. They got those hard drives on them with sensitive data maybe. You can send those hard drives over to China. They'll clean it all up for you and send them back to you. China Technology Services. Folks, I mean, there's a lot of stuff they want to do here. Look at this one. Remote desktop support for U.S. Department of Defense. I mean, you think about it. The Department of Defense, I mean, a lot of these guys are probably pretty smart and gals, but there's probably some that don't really understand technology. They're on their computer. They're trying to open up some top secret documents and they can't understand the code or the verification or the authentication. And so they could reach out to the help desk for the China Technology Services. They could help them walk through that. Very interesting stuff. I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, they might say, make all the toys you want. We'd rather do these technology services. Here's another one for you. Educational software updates for K through 12. They're thinking, you know what, America? I mean, people don't know what books to read in school anymore, and they're thinking, hey, we know how to train kids. As a matter of fact, in China, they have some re-education programs that are pretty powerful too. And they're thinking, hey, we could do that through China Technology Services. We'll train your kids. We'll help you educate them. Boy, I tell you what, I'm telling you, if you think about it, I mean, we need some factories over here to make some of our toys and stuff, and I think it's a fair trade. You know, we make the stuff, they do the technology services. I mean, here's another one. Remote navigation for F-35 fighter jets. I mean, think about it. You got some of these pilots, think about this. They're out the night before, they're drinking way too much. Y'all saw Top Gun. I mean, you know, some of these pilots, they party pretty hard. So the pilots are out there, they're drinking up a storm, having some fun. And now that marijuana is legal in a lot of states, I mean, they could be really, really doped up. And the next morning, they got a mission. They got to fly the jet. And they're like, holy shit, I'm barely awake. How am I going to fly this jet? Well, they just remote in to China Technology Services, and they got navigators that help them navigate the jet. Folks, I'm telling you right now, this slide is so interesting to me because I'm really thinking that China's thinking, make all the crap you want. We'd rather give you the services through China Technology Services. Folks, just some things to think about because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo. And